All right, we'll go ahead and get started. Thank you all for joining today. So my name is Lily MacLean. I am a senior solutions engineer here at Rheaply, and my role is to connect our potential clients or people that are interested in Rheaply to our technology and our platform. Today, we're going to be talking about how to sell and donate workplace assets with Rheaply, a very descriptive and self-explanatory title, but we will be going through a demo of the tool and how our customer base is currently using the tool to help sell and donate assets with Rheaply. So a few notes about today's webinar. We're going to be talking again about a product demonstration. So a good chunk of today's call is going to be spent in our technology, the Rheaply platform, but we're also going to talk a bit about how some of our customers are using our technology as well as our services today to sell and donate assets, keep those out of landfill, recoup value, all that good stuff. So your microphones will be muted for this time frame. I would encourage all of you, though, to submit any questions that you have using the Q&A module. I would love to hear any thoughts. And if we cannot get to all of the questions, we promise to connect with you afterwards to make sure all of your questions are answered. But thank you again for joining. So again, we're just going to talk a bit about impact stories from customers like yourselves, how they're using Rheaply today. And then we're going to really spend a good majority of the time in our demo of our product and our solution. So we're going to talk a bit about some of our fun features that we have using AI called suggestions. And we're going to talk about what we deem as the Rheaply preferred network. It's really the mechanism for how assets and resources actually get to their next use in their next homes. And then we'll finish it off with a little bit of data and reporting, because at the core of everything is making sure that you have good data and good reporting to show what the good impact is that you might be doing through the product. And then lastly, we're going to open it up again for a little bit of that Q&A session. So who is Rheaply? I'm super honored and happy to be talking about this with you all today. We are a technology and services company that is building end-to-end solutions for workplace assets. So we have technology and we have services that enable resources to find their next homes. And that starts with knowing what you have, so giving you visibility into your items, being able to use what you have, so being able to reuse from one space and plugging that into another space, or selling and donating the assets that you no longer need. And that's really what we're going to be talking about mostly today, is how once your organization no longer wants or needs those assets, how you can plug those into Rheaply's vast network of communities through our technology to make sure those assets don't end up in the landfill. And also you can recoup some of the value of those assets. So we're going to start with a bit of storytelling here. So what our customers are using today and how they're able to use Rheaply to really drive impact. We have a current customer, an energy and utilities client, that is using Rheaply technology to sell assets that they no longer want or no longer need. And really at the core of this is end of life doesn't have to mean end of the story. So just because you no longer need those assets doesn't mean that someone in the ecosystem in our country, wherever, can't use those assets. So Rheaply has a vast network of partners, buyers, refurbishers, donation partners, community partners, recyclers that make sure that these assets from our clients don't end up in the landfill. This client in particular is using our sale portion of the platform to actually recoup some of the value from these assets. These are assets like furniture, fixtures, and equipment, and they're actually recouping a chunk of that money as well as diverting from landfill. So actually getting back money from the sale of these assets to parties that can use them, while also keeping that out of the landfill and making sure that those items stay in their highest and best use. So just one example of a customer that is using our technology and how they're able to recoup some value. From a very similar lens, we also have services. So let's say we have customers, in our base that do not want the immediate need for technology, but still have a need to make sure items don't end up in the landfill. Rheaply has decommissioning services that we actually come on site. We can remove those items as a typical decommissioning event, keep it in broom swept condition, and find homes for those assets. So in a recent project we did for a Fortune 500 food and services company, we were able to divert over 450,000 pounds from the landfill, which represented 100% diversion rate. So making sure that in a single project that was scoped here for this example, nothing ended up in the landfill, which is truly an amazing part of our business and what we are very proud of. That represents reuse, so donation to the local communities, connecting those assets to our local network of donation partners, refurbishers, recyclers, and the like, ultimately keeping it out of landfill, keeping it out of incineration, for example, as well. So to kind of cap off the examples here, everything is reusable. Yep, even that. So in Earth Month here, we're really talking about the making sure that every resource finds its next use. And typically, a lot of times we get questions from our client base on, hey, we have this stuff. Are you sure that you can find homes for that? Are you sure this is reusable? In a perfect world, yes, everything is 100% reusable. We typically find, 0.3%, 0.5%, a percent that is impossible to reuse. It's reached its full life, which is awesome. But almost everything, every asset that we've handled for our clients has found a next home with our network. And so we have a team that is responsible and really dedicated to finding those homes. And they're very good at that. And they're very creative. And they've found homes for a variety of materials. I mean, we've found homes for thousands of pounds of turf to local dog shelters that are using that turf to create new spaces for those dogs to have a space to play. We found new homes for thousands of basketballs. We found new homes for furniture, such a huge one, furniture, fixtures, and equipment. But our job and really our passion is finding these homes. So if you take a look around you on a personal level, but if you take a look around you from your own business and in your own organization, everything is reusable, and we help to find homes for those items. And how we really do that is through our technology and through our platform. And so I mentioned that this is going to be a big portion of our conversation today, and that is 100% true. So now we're going to talk a bit about the technology that powers the impact that you were seeing from some of those previous slides. So the Rheaply technology is at the core of what we offer, even with our services, and even if our customers do not purchase our technology or go with our technology, we're using this to make sure that we're getting the impact and that we're benefiting from how technology facilitates a lot of these actions. So the Rheaply technology really facilitates visibility into your stuff, the ability to smoothly and conveniently exchange those items to other parties, and then the data and reporting. So we're going to talk about all of those pieces today, as well as some of the AI features and the preferred network and the data and reporting. But as a whole, visibility, exchange, and reporting is really how you can think about Rheaply, the Rheaply platform. So the first step into using the technology that our customers focus on is creating listings or creating the digital catalog of what's available. Now, we can take data that already exists. A lot of our customers have current asset management systems or even potential, warehouse management systems, or they might even just have spreadsheets, or I've seen PowerPoints and Word documents and a hodgepodge of anything in between. Any data that you already have is consumable in the Rheaply platform. So we can take that data and very easily manage that process and get you a bunch of data that you already have in a very clean single source of truth platform that a lot of different players can play with. Now, the other way and the other very common thing we see in our customers is that there's no data, and that's okay too, because a lot of this stuff is deemed as surplus and is deemed as ready to be thrown away when really it has that next life. So we make it a really easy process to digitize and create digital versions of these resources, even if you don't have any data on those resources. One of the things around that piece is it's mobile friendly, right? So, I have a filter on so you can't see it, but I'm holding my phone. You can snap a picture of the resources that you have and very easily title what you have and use AI to generate things that you might not know about that resource, such as the description, the weight, and the replacement cost. So we can try that out right now. I'm going to say I have some Herman Miller Aeron chairs. And that's really all I know about the chairs, right? And I'm going to snap a photo here, but I'm going to use our suggestions feature to generate things like the description, the weight, and the replacement cost that are going to drive the reporting once these items are exchanged to Rheaply's network of donation and sale partners, buyers. So it really makes it an easy process to digest and consume data and get those things into the platform, because really that first step, that resource visibility, what makes the rest of the things possible. It makes the exchange possible. It makes the reporting possible. So we want this to be an easy and fun process, and we use all the tools that we have to make that so. One other thing that I'm going to call out here, and all of these fields are, we can go as detailed or as high level as we want with those resources, but just to call something out here, we have the ability to choose how these resources are shared depending on our organizations that we work with business rules. So what I mean by that is some of our organizations that we work with, they have brand new furniture that has just been purchased and it has a ton of life left within the organization. It just potentially doesn't have visibility to other business units, other departments, other teams within the organization. So in those instances, we can share this internally only. We can say, hey, any teams within the current organization will have visibility into this resource. But what we're talking about today is that truly that moment when these resources are no longer needed or wanted by those organizations, we enable what's called Rheaply's preferred network of partners to have visibility into these resources. So this choice is up to our organizations. It's up to you based on your business rules, but it gives that flexibility to say, yes, I can reuse these resources, or we want to make sure that we're getting rid of storage costs and we can clear out this warehouse, or that, we have an event coming up and we want to make sure that these items are no longer in this space. Whatever that event is, or whatever that project is, that choice is up to you. So in that preferred network example, we're connecting you with charities, nonprofits, business partners, anyone in between that can actually claim these resources, again, based on your needs, based on your requirements, and making sure that there's guided and unique access of those partners into your materials as you see fit. So once these items are actually published, they become visible within this marketplace, within this shopping experience. So now I'm viewing the website, I'm viewing the platform as that partner that has guided and controlled access into the materials that organizations have said I can access. So Lily, as donation partner ABC, can come in and see the materials and resources that are available for me because the organization said, yes, you can see them. And my experience is really clean and easy in terms of, again, the exchange. So I come in here and I can search for things that I'm interested in. I can drill things down based on the category of what's available to me. But ultimately, it boils down to an exchange. So when I come in here and I view what's available, I can see how many are available. I can see the condition, a picture of the item, and I can see all the details that help me make an informed decision, and it's scalable. So today, what you're seeing is 7 chairs in this demo environment. What we actually see in real life with our customers is, hundreds of chairs, and our partners and networks are coming in and making carts, this cart functionality, are making exchanges for full truckloads. So it's not, hey, I'm taking 1 chair. It's me taking all of the availability and making sure that I'm building in processes and taking in as much as possible. So we're creating vast exchanges, very large exchanges, and not one-off exchanges. But for the sake of demonstration, let's just talk about the max offer here. So I'm going to take all that's available. And what the system is doing here is it's facilitating, again, the smooth and convenient exchange of these materials. So a couple things to note here. One is the system is going to create a digital record of where these items are going. So because I claimed this resource, Sam, in this case, gets the opportunity to accept that claim and say, yes, you can have it. And I can put in my details. We have ways to talk about logistics in the platform as well. But ultimately, it's creating a digital record of where these items are going. And then it's also going to debit this from what's available to the next user coming onto the platform. So in this case, Lily donation partner ABC is going to claim all 7 of these chairs, all 700 of these chairs, whatever that number is. The next user or the next partner that comes onto the platform will not have visibility into that. So we're creating, in real time data about these transactions and making sure that everything is correct and accurate. So the system is handling both of those pieces, the digital record, the data piece, and then the last piece, and really what's at the core of this is the reporting, because we want to make sure that as these items are finding their new homes, right? This one is a free item, but you may have noticed here we also have the ability to list these items for a price, so we can coordinate the exchange for and payment of these items. Regardless of that method, we want to make sure that as items are finding these new homes, that you guys are getting data back. So we offer a variety of in-app reports that really capture the aggregate data that's being transacted on the platform. And it ranges from sustainability data to financial data. We're not going to talk about every single one of these, but let's just dive into a couple. So from a sustainability lens, it is Earth Month, right? We do want to talk about estimated embodied carbon avoided. So as items are reused, the assumption is that those items don't have to be procured new. And so we are avoiding a certain amount of estimated embodied carbon that's associated with the procurement or manufacturing of those new items. So this is a very empowering report and something that a lot of our customer base is very excited about. It's newer in the field, so giving that good data on estimated embodied carbon avoided. From a financial lens, this is a very interesting report because we are starting to get into some of the core around how much money do we have sitting in surplus. We know that potentially this figure is just the monetary value of surplus, but there's also storage fees associated with surplus. There's tipping fees associated with getting rid of surplus and sending that to the landfill. So this only covers part of the tip of the iceberg, if you will, but it gives us a good insight into how much value do we have available in surplus. And then as we're either reusing this or sending this to our donation partners or selling this, we can think of this as value recaptured into the organization, value donated, and even potentially cost avoidance, again, if we're reusing these materials because we didn't have to buy those items brand new. And then the last report here, again, from a sustainability perspective, is the weight diversion. So over time, as you're moving these items and the Rheaply platform is facilitating the exchange of these items, we want to give back data on how much weight are we diverting from landfill over time, making sure that these items are finding those next homes. So just to recap here for a second on the Rheaply platform, visibility into your resources, the smooth and convenient exchange of those resources, as well as data and reporting. Awesome. So we're going to come back in here. So Rheaply puts reuse on the table for every business. We keep valuable products in use, reduce costs and landfill waste, and help you reach your ESG goals. As you saw today, we talked a bit about the digital marketplace. We didn't talk as much about inventory management, but we do have technology and services to help upstream of the decision to reuse or the decision to move or the decision to get rid of those resources. At the core of it is how can we manage some of this inventory, and how can we give tools that help organizations make the best decisions about their inventory by getting the best data. So that's also something that Rheaply does that we didn't talk about today. But if you would like to follow up to learn more, we're happy to talk about that. And then the last piece, and really what ties us all together, is at the goal and at the heart of this is sustainability solutions. So with data, with our services, with the things that we're offering, at the core of it is making sure that all of these resources are, again, finding their next homes and finding their next and highest use. Okay, so now we're going to open it up for a bit of Q&A. And if there were any questions in the module, we can go ahead and open that up. And I think Jen is going to introduce herself and help us out with that portion.
Hi, everyone. I'm Jen from Rheaply's marketing team, playing the thrilling role of question reader this afternoon. And we have a couple coming through, but like Lily mentioned, the Q&A module is where you can add your questions if you have any questions today. But to kick things off, how does the Rheaply platform work during decommissions when there are a lot of assets to sell or donate on a short time frame?
Yeah, that's a great question. So the Rheaply platform is really, and decommissionings are a service that Rheaply offers. And during that process, what happens is if you have a project that's coming up, hey, we have a project in May, we have a project in June, whatever that time frame is. What happens in that process is Rheaply scopes the project. So we'll come on site, do a tour, understand your inventory, and then scope the project for you. As part of that scope and as part of what we offer, we're actually buying those assets from you, and we're using the technology on the back end to facilitate the smooth and convenient exchange of those resources. So we're taking that piece off of the shoulders of our clients and managing that process by using the technology to filter those assets to their new homes, and get credits back to our customer base. So we do use our technology as a backbone to all of the services that we offer, and it is a very a smooth process. But that's a little bit about how that works. We try to be as proactive as possible too. So the more we know about the inventory up front, of course, the smoother the transfers and the exchanges happen at the end, which is why we do walkthroughs and all that type of stuff. And any sort of historical data is also helpful. We can seed that into the platform ahead of time and almost pre-claim those assets so that the moment that room has to be, or that floor or that building has to be in broom swept condition, those assets already have new homes.
Great, super helpful. What about when items are in so-so shape? Do you help connect to any refurbishment services or providers in order to help divert the items?
Yeah, great question. So yes, short answer. A little bit of a longer answer is Rheaply has a network of 3,000 plus, we call them ecosystem partners. There are network of donation, community, refurbishers, recyclers, this vast network that helps find new homes for these resources. And refurbishers is a pillar of one of those types of organizations. So we've done a lot of projects where we have specifically furniture. We have a couple of case studies or slides with some pictures of some older furniture that it was old. I don't know why I put quotation marks. It was old. Older furniture that was then refurbished and actually sold for that customer. So refurbishers is a huge pillar of that process, and that is something that we connect our customers to on a regular basis.
Got it. Can you talk about how you calculate the carbon emissions on your platform? How do your customers use these reports, the reports that you showed?
Yeah, absolutely. So I'll just pull it up while I have it here. So our carbon estimated embodied carbon avoided report is a pretty neat report. It's newer in its field, so there's not a lot of reports like this out there. And what it does is when you list an item, when you say, hey, I have chairs, when you say, hey, I have tables, because we use AI to generate category and weight and description and their estimates, but that's why the report is an estimate, but they're close. We're taking the carbon factor of the item and the weight of that item to give an estimate of what is avoided through not having to manufacture. So it doesn't include transportation, because that can come from anywhere, and we're happy actually to do that on an ad hoc basis for our clients. But this aggregate report you're seeing here doesn't include that. But it does really give us a good baseline of if we were to manufacture this product new, what would that cost, so to speak, from a carbon perspective. So how our customers are using this today. So in general, our reports are live, they're in platform, and they're used and generated to really drive a lot of conversation and impact reporting up the chain. So giving when we do decommissioning projects, we give our customers impact reports, taking those reports to show the impact from a project perspective, as well as giving insight into our into some of the higher up levels what the impact of reuse is. We've also seen from some of our customer base winning awards based on the use of this product, based on the use of technology. So there are a lot of creative ways that we're using reports and that our customer base is really leveraging this. And one last thing that I'll say, which I know this answer has dragged on, but the last thing I'll say is that we have a lot of reports in platform, as we mentioned, but I like to say that if the data is there, if something is in the platform, we can report on it. So our customers are also coming to us saying, hey, this is kind of a unique use case, but we just had XYZ thing happen and we want to do this with that. Is that something that you can help us with? And 100%, we are very open and want to help our customers drive as many metrics and data as possible around the use of this product.
Amazing. How does the platform work with different regions? Are there limits on states served?
Yeah, that's a great question. So no limits to the state served. We are entirely present in North America, including Canada. So what I will say is that reuse and the services that we offer along with our technology are very driven by our team, are very driven by the assets that we have. So we know that in different states, in different regions, there are different appetites based on the type of materials that you might have. So we take a very hands-on approach to understanding your assets, to understanding your resources, so that we can find the best homes that are local and that are going to keep those assets in their highest and best use. So we take a very hands-on approach to that. And we know that there's variance in regions and variance in states. And in cases where we just had an example of this, where let's say, in the Bay Area, the market is a bit saturated in terms of some of the furniture offerings. We're able to find local homes a little bit outside of that. In this case, we were finding backhauling opportunities from the Bay Area to LA to make sure that those items found homes in some underserved communities. So we're always making sure to find the best homes for those resources and keeping it as local as possible. But we're everywhere.
Amazing. I think we have time for one more question.
Perfect.
How does the payment and actual exchange process between parties work if the items are not for free?
Yeah, great question. So our platform runs through our transaction piece runs through Stripe. So anytime you come into the platform and an item is listed for a cost, the facilitation of that payment actually is through the platform, but it's facilitated through Stripe. So as a buyer, what happens is I come in and let's say take this global pendant lighting, beautiful. If I make an offer for 30 of these, it's going to calculate my total cost. Once that item is accepted, the platform is actually going to prompt me to pay for the item in platform and we calculate sales tax. And we also we do have the ability to ship these items and actually exchange these with a little bit more logistics and help that process. But as mentioned before, we try to keep things as local as possible. But sometimes it does make sense to ship those items as opposed to manufacturing those brand new. So again, our teams are very hands-on in this process, and we can give you advice or give you some thoughts on what the best next life is for these resources. But all of this is possible, facilitated, and is happening through the platform today. So that's a bit. We can, if you want to see a more in-depth demo of the payments, how the actual transaction looks, we can set up a time as well and reach out. Just let us know. But happy to dive in a little bit further into that. Awesome. I know we are at time, and I appreciate everyone coming on to this webinar to learn a bit more about the Rheaply platform and who we are. So if you're interested in learning more about what you heard today, you can pop over to our website, rheaply.com/nothing-new, and hear more stories about what people are doing in the market today and some of the customers that we're servicing. So thank you so much for joining today, and I hope you all have a wonderful Tuesday and reach out and connect if you would like to have further conversations.